Welcome to Smoking Eagle's Rod Shop, and today we're going to be putting a floor shifter in Carmen Electra. So when we're in the burnout pit or the drag strip, you know, we're not going to hit reverse because in the heat of the moment, things get a little, out of control and stuff. So I'll show you all the supplies we got here. I got this cool B&M ratchet shifter I picked up at the swap meet for, I don't know, 30 bucks or something. I ordered this tunnel adapter for a shifter that goes to the tunnel. Now, I got this on Amazon, had no idea what I was looking for. It had this cool cup holder thing on the front. I couldn't even put this in the car to mock it up with that, so I chopped that off. Maybe we can incorporate it into the project somehow. I don't know, we'll have to figure that out. This is like the $20 bracket kit to convert over to a floor shifter. I got that on Amazon too. I'll put links in the description to this stuff in case you're interested in it. And I got this cable that Jason had left over from working on the Elko. Hopefully I can take this hodgepodge of parts with you guys and make something happen. So I'll grab this stuff, hop in the car with a tape measure, and we'll start figuring it out, I guess. All right, so here we are in the car. I got the seat exactly where I wanted it. It's a power seat, so we never move it. I adjusted it a few years ago, and it's just where it is. I got this cool little armrest here, and this thing is street legal. I like to drive her in car shows and parades and things like that, so it's nice to just be comfortable. And these big old boots, they are comfortable. So I got that sitting down there. I don't want the shifter way out there because obviously it's not going to fit, and you can see why I cut the cup holder off the end of there. I want this shifter like right here on the seat, so we're good and comfy. We can just bang, 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 hit all the gears, right? So we're going to need to make some kind of a spacer to come up and back to mount our shifter to, and then hopefully we can route the cable correctly. If I have to, I'll just order a different cable. Not a big deal, but it'd be nice to save a little cash and use that cable Jason had. So with our tape measure here, looks like we need about a 3-inch spacer or a riser for this. Let's go out to my scrap metal pile and see if we can't find something that'll work. All right, guys, we're out here at the old boneyard. Got some exhaust. We got a little bit of everything. Panels off of trucks, mowers, mower decks. Those are stadium seats from Colt Stadium in Indianapolis. Anyway, all kinds of junk here. Oh, look around. Oh, that tubing there looks pretty good. Square. Oh, what's that? Looks like 2 inches that way and 3 inches that way. I'm going to haul this in the shop. We'll see if we can't cut a chunk off of that and see where that gets us. And boom, just like that, I cut us a piece off. I cut it a little short so that we'd have room to weld on each end if it's going to fit the way we need it. Let's go toss it in the car and see what we get. All right, so here we are. We are a lot closer. It's got a little bit of height that needs to go yet. It's like I said, we measured it was like 3.5 inches or something, and that only raised it 2. So maybe cut another chunk off of that, set it on top of that one, run it, I don't know, from down there all the way back into here somewhere. Let's measure that. All right, so looking at that, it looks like if we had about 16 inches, another piece there, it may sit up. It's probably gonna, I don't know. Let's cut it and see what we got to do. All right, there we go, guys. I cut another piece, 16 inches. I got them clamped together. This is kind of what I'm thinking. I know it looks a little overbuilt, but I mean, I got the stuff, right? Just make her quick, make her easy. There's no need to overthink it. And check this out. I got my cup holder here. So if we can get this to fit like this, maybe we can bend this at like a 90, weld it right on the side like that. And then I still have cup holders. That'd be pretty sweet. Got to have somewhere to keep the refreshments, especially when you're running down the drag strip. Anyway, yeah, let's go set it in the car, see what it looks like. All right, so crawl back in here, see if we can set this down in here. Oh, yeah. Sits right down on the tunnel. Let's fold down our armrest here. Oh, that's almost perfect. Feel like needs to squish that seat down just a little bit, but it can do it. I mean, it's touching everywhere down there. Oh, I'm liking that. It's like it's meant to be, guys. That was simple. We made that really simple. And then I can shift. My hand's not going to hit because that's park. So, I mean, it'd be nice to have a little more room, but it's not bad. I could always squish this back this way a little bit, maybe. Like that. Just kind of squish the seat because, again, the seat's as far forward as it's ever going to go. I made sure I moved the seat far enough forward that, you know, you can take your foot and put it right through the firewall in the heat of the moment. Or the brakes. It's usually the brakes. Anyway, yeah, so I think I need to clean this up a little bit, do a little bit of welding, kind of tack it up and drill some holes, get this all bolted to this. Then yeah, we can find like its forever home and drill holes in the tunnel. That's kind of my plan. So I'm going to drag it up to the workbench and start working on that. Yeah, I'll give you guys some sweet music to listen to while I do a little bit of this busy work. And then I'll meet you back here and we'll figure out exactly where we're going to mount this thing and drill holes in the floor. Here it is. Got it all welded up. It is overkill, trust me. But this whole car is big and heavy, and it kind of goes with the theme of the car is just being overbuilt, right? Yeah, I drilled our holes here, put some riv nuts in it so it bolts on there. It's removable. Got it all welded up, cleaned up. Cleaned my welds off just a little bit so we can toss a fresh coat of paint on this when we're done. And I even started messing with the cup holder a little bit. I bent an angle on there. I thought about welding it on the side of here, but then I thought, you know, it'd be a lot better if it was removable. So we're gonna wait, and then I'm just gonna self-tapper it right to the side of here wherever we want it later, because this needs a bottom. It's like, what fits this? I need this thing to hold some cold snacks. I think it needs a base. I'm probably gonna weld something off the bottom of here and across here, maybe an old rod or something across there for the bottom of your drinks to sit on. That's a later project. For now, we need to set this in there, line it up where we want it, self-tapper this thing right to the floor, and move on to making our shift. All right, guys, so this is what we ended up with. I cut this notch out of here and a notch in here. That gives us a lot of room to play as far as if we got extra cable or we need more cable, we can just keep tucking her back in this way. This cable naturally bends back this way, which is good because that's how it needs to go up to our transmission to do all the shifting and all that fun stuff. So really, we're kind of done here. For now, we need to get the car up in the air so that we can bolt this bracket system onto the transmission and figure out exactly where to cut this hole for this cable in the floor of the car. Never done it before, so we're probably going to do what we normally do. Measure once, cuss twice. Let's get her in the air. All right, so I got the car up in the air, and this is where all of our factory hardware was. It's this stuff here, super easy. All you gotta do is pull your little cotter pin and pop this bar off, unbolt this bracket from the transmission. This spring and washer and crap all kind of goes with all this stuff. This goes up to your steering column. You aren't gonna need any of this crap anymore, but I'm just gonna save it in case I need it for another project somewhere, because you never know when you might need a chunk of bar, who knows what. But anyway, I'm gonna go grab our new hardware and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna bolt this stuff. So I've got our shift shaft bracket here and our new nut. Now this can go on two different ways because of the rectangle in here. It can go on this way or it can go on this way. And I'm not sure exactly how we're gonna need it for this application. So I'm just gonna put it on like this. I know the transmission's in low and I'm gonna put this on by hand and then we'll flip it around if we need to flip it around. Now I've pulled these two bolts out of the transmission pan. Let me go grab that bracket and I'll show you what we're doing there. All right, so I've got our bracket here, and this is kind of the setup that I'm gonna do. They give you just this spacer with this bracket. Now, if you put your factory bolt through there, you're only using like 3 threads on your bolt, if even that. So what I did is I measured everything I want to do, and I even put an extra washer on here because this spacer has a giant hole and it doesn't have much support for the transmission pan. So I wanted that extra washer on there to help keep that transmission pan sealed up good. I measured that distance, and then I just got a bolt that was that length so that we're using all the threads in the transmission when we bolt this all together. We're going to bolt it on like this. We're going to use this bolt hole and this back bolt hole. But as you can see, there's all kinds of options that you have here available. And this front hole is dripping a little bit of transmission fluid every once in a while. So I'm going to put a dab of Permatex on this front bolt when I send her home. And it is going to be 130 inch-pounds? 130 inch-pounds to tighten these down. So I'll go grab my torque wrench and we'll get the bolting this baby on here. All right, got us a little bit of Permatex on those threads. So hopefully that'll cure that little drip. It's not much, just ever so slight drip. Okay, get our bolt in the backside. Where'd it go? I knew it was in my kangaroo pouch somewhere. There it is. Bolt spacer washer. On the back here. Whoa! Dropping everything. There's that one. There's that one. There's that one. Or check this one. There's that one. Okay, there we go. So you can see my finger up in here. I took the self-tappers out, replaced them with riv nuts since I know where the shifter is going to be permanently now. And I bolted that baby down. I went over just a little bit beside it and drilled like a 3/4 hole and shoved our cable through. Yeah, the cable changed colors. It happens. So I got a $20 Amazon cable here. And yeah, I got a little bit of heat shield on it there. And I got it routed up around the top of our transmission cross member here. And let's go over here and see if we can get her hooked up. All right, so our cable comes through right here. Watch your head. It's right over top of this transmission mount. It's gonna go right down through my bracket. And we've got our nut on the shortest adjustment here. And we can adjust it from there as needed. That'll go right up by there. I got this heat shield on here just to try and protect the casing on this cable since it's right up against our exhaust. And our bracket's right here. So we need to put a nut and our washer on here like that. Then we got this little barrel nut that just takes a cotter pin through the other end of it. So I'm going to screw it on the end of our cable here. And I know the transmission's in low. So and the shifter is in low. So I'm just going to screw this in until it just goes in that hole. Almost. A little bit more. And there, it goes in. So I'll put our cotter pin in there. I'm going going to snug this up just a little bit. I'm not going to crank it down, but I'm going to snug it up just a little bit so we don't have any slop in anything. I'm going to lower the car down, and then I'll climb in the car and we can make our adjustments on the creeper. All right, so I climbed in the car, shifted it through all the gears. It shifts down perfectly. When it shifts up through the gears, it works, but I don't think it is. I'm not real happy with it, but it's very close. So what I need to do is I need to make it so that it shifts a little bit harder forward. So instead of slipping right in like it is now, I think I need to go around one turn and then squeeze it in there. Like that, so that it's just giving a little bit more force forward when I go to shift it forward. But one thing I forgot is I got these little rubber grommets that go on here and protect this cable when it shifts. So I am going to take it off and put those on and hopefully get it right back into this spot where it slides in, but it's just got a little bit of resistance. Okay, so is that where we need it? Nope, needs to go in another one. There it is. Fits right in there. That little rubber boot keeps, it's kind of a little on the large side. And then I'm just going to hand tighten those nuts up against that barrel nut like that. And that's just going to take some of the slop out of those threads. And now our little cotter pin, wherever I put it, is it in my pocket? Of course, it's probably laying on the bench, you know. So I got to crawl out from under here again. Nope. Found it. So I'm just going to slide it in. And then I'll go up and we'll see how it shifts. All right, well, I just fired the car up, backed it out, shifted it through all the gears, and it shifted absolutely perfect. And I pulled it over here on the other side of the shop because, well, we've got another project to work on next. But check this shifter out, guys. Man, that looks really good. That's exactly what we want. And let me go show you the other side. So here's what it looks like from the drinker's seat. And yeah, we got plenty of room to build our little cup holder, put it right here for cruising up and down the strip. Man, I'm super excited for what this is gonna do for Carmen. Not only looks, but drivability in the burnout pit. And it just adds a little bit of character to a car that has lots of character. So let me know your thoughts on this upgrade on Carmen in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends. We got a Facebook group over on Facebook. Go join that. Show us what you're putting a floor shifter in. And until next time, guys, keep on wrenching.